Boom bam pow, hey there all my critters, Teague here. And Teague's kinda sniffly and sick, so you're gonna have to forgive her. Welcome to Cartoonized YouTubers. And I'm starting off with good old Markiplier. Now, let's look at our color palette, shall we? Get a nice tone for our outline. Now that we picked out a color for our outline, I break out my Paths tool and start laying out the groundwork for the face. Right down to the head shape, just every detail I can possibly manage with the Paths tool. Via the mouse. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. There we go. One cheekbone down, let's do the other one. There we go. And the chin. Can't forget about the chin. The mighty chin. Commentating on my own artwork process is crazy hard. Doesn't help that I'm sick and loopy, but whatever. Whatever. Now, normally I don't do the top of the head, but this time I am, because there is a lot of fluffy hair to try and outline, and I definitely need some groundwork. Right. Base value is 6 pixels. Let's round off those corners and see what 6 pixels looks like. Too thin. So we're gonna open our stroke path thing again, and we're gonna crank her up to like 10. That's much better. We need a new layer. We already started out with a transparent layer, but that was on top of the base picture to get our outline. Now I'm going to do the nose and the ears, and anything else I can think of to cram onto that layer. Once again, it's a transparent layer. By the end of this video, I have, I don't know, 15 or 16, maybe more layers of just outline for the face, and then the outline for the hair is separate. The nose and ears and mouth are all separate. I believe the eyes are separate too. I could have upwards of 20 or some odd layers, even if it's incredulously simple looking. Alright, we're back to our stroke line. We're going to tone that down a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit of a difference. It kind of adds depth, or at least that's what I'm going to tell myself. We now have the basis for our ears and nose. Now we start yet another new layer. The eyeballs. Now I started out trying to make more realistic eyeballs, but then I realized, this is going to be pretty cartoony when I'm finished with it. That's going to be kind of creepy. So for a while there, I just kind of figured, I guess I'll work on the mouth for a little bit and decide for certain if I want to make the eyes more realistic or if I just want to completely tune them out like I did with my profile picture on Twitter, if you guys have seen it. Alright. I'm gonna go with a 6 instead of a 7 on the mouth. You can't even really see it. But we'll work more on that later. Right now it's really just about getting the fundamentals. Gives me something to base the rest of it off of. We now have the basis for our eyes, nose, mouth, and head. At this point, I had to lighten the image because I could not see what I was doing. So I figured I'd just take the base image and lighten that instead of going full on grayscale, because I still needed a basis to, where I was going to place the eyes and the eyebrows, and the hair is almost completely traced. I effed up the eyes the first time, so I had to do it again. This looks so creepy from this standpoint. It's more like Teague reacts to her own artwork process. That's too small. Now they match. Yay. Good job, Teague. And give them a little bit of a curve. Once again, I like to think that it adds depth, even though it probably doesn't, and this is a cartoon anyway, so there really isn't much of anything for depth. Oh crap. The right one and the left one don't match. Well, I'm gonna erase the crap out of that and do a copy-paste. Break out my lasso tool and grab that eyeball. I said grab that eyeball. There we go. Copy pasted. There we go. I'll get it lined up a bit. Yep. Nope. Well, kinda. Yeah, maybe. Now I'm going to start yet another new layer, and this is going to be eyebrows, I think. I don't remember it off the top of my head, and this has been condensed down from an hour and a half of work. So I have no idea what I'm doing from this standpoint, reacting to my own stuff. And you can kind of tell because it's taking me forever to decide what I'm doing in the video. This commentary is provided after the fact. You guys have already seen the finished product on Tumblr and Twitter by now. Probably. Then again, probably not, and I don't know. Go check it out. What am I doing? Oh. I just took the burn tool and darkened the mouth, and I decided, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna do the teeth first. Make it less creepy. And I got really crazy detailed into that. I did the top teeth first, and then it was like, oh well, that's really creepy without the bottom teeth. And then it was just a mad dash to try and figure out how I was going to do the bottom teeth. But that's later on in the video. Right now I'm messing with hair. Starting out with the basic outline, since dude's got a bit of a widow's peak. Trying to match it up with the outline of my dome piece. Because if it doesn't overlap that line, then I done goofed. Though it'll be erased later on. If I forget to erase it, though, then I definitely done goofed. The hair was probably the hardest part. I was basically tracing it all, but getting everything in the right... Like I said, there's a widow's peak, so everything kind of juts out from the middle and then goes to what would be the left. I can almost hear the gears spinning in my own head, as in, is this gonna... No, maybe, yes, no. Yeah, screw it, I'm just gonna trace it. And with the paths tool, sometimes you just absolutely have to mess with one of the lines. So if you want to go backward and work with another line, otherwise it's just going to be from wherever your last anchor was, it's just going to jut right off to wherever you place your mouse next. So the hair was a bit of a process, as it always is. Skipping ahead a bit, we are starting to see the skeleton work of what will be our hair, or at least the outline for the hair. We now have our hair, pretty much. I'm still tweaking some itty-bitty tiny details that are driving me batshit insane, but now we are ready to choose our stroke style again, and we are going to go up to 10. Booyah! We have hair. Rogaine ain't got shit on this. Oh ho 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 ho. And now that we got our hair, the next step is to go in with the eraser tool and start hammering out some of the details. Basically, I rounded out all of my corners just so I could erase them into sharp points again. And that may seem counterproductive, but that's just the way my process works. It's just how I do things. And in order to do this, we start another layer. Probably wasn't necessary for me to start another layer, but I did. Oh dear crap. Right. Like I said, I basically rounded off all of my edges just so I could add hard edges to them again, but I wanted to do it in my own sort of style. Which is kind of like me trying to fake hand-drawn in digital form. The mouth did not want to cooperate with me. Just like my own mouth right now, because I have bloopered up twice. But we're going to keep at it until we get it right, which we finally did. And now to contour the jaw. Jaw, chin, cheekbones, everything is getting the eraser treatment, so it looks more like retro, hand-drawn-ish. Think old Disney cartoons. And now we're taking our blur tool and just blurring it itty bitty, itsy bitsy bit. 1 pixel. Boop. You can hardly see a difference. But it does help smooth out some of the harsher lines from erasing everything that I had erased. Now the fun begins. I can start coloring things. I'm gonna start with the hair. Yay! I get to color. Woo! This is awesome! Look at me go! Woohoo! Yay! Coloring is fun. Now that we have provided our base color to the hair, I just have to erase all of my crappy, out-of-bounds lineages, and I nearly forgot about the eyebrows. So, at this point, I am slapping some eyebrows onto that face. The right eyebrow never wanted to work with me and hates my guts. So later on, you get to see me do some more copy pasta with the left eyebrow that actually cooperated and likes me. Yay for that left eyebrow. Merp. So here I am with my good eyebrow. Let's sigh. We are going to take our lasso tool again and do a copy paste. We open another window that I just used for my copy pastas, slap it on there, turn it around, and then we copy paste again. Boop! Hooray, identical eyebrow! I do a little bit of shearing just to make sure that it's absolutely in place, and then we carry on with the rest of the face. That rhymed. Now, the hard part. Well, another one of the hard parts, the glasses. I actually effed up horribly, destroyed all of the lines I had, and had to start completely over again. So here's the second attempt at the glasses, and where I actually get the opportunity to do all the erasing stuff again. Just so I have those nice pointy, almost hand-drawn looking edges. And there's the finished product as far as the glasses go, except it needs something. It needs lenses. And also a little bit of blur. A little bit of blurp. Now we create a new layer for those lenses. Because they wouldn't be eyeglasses without lenses. They'd be fake nerd glasses, and who the heck wears those? Other than hipsters. Getting the shape for the lenses right was kind of difficult, actually, because the lenses protrude a bit from his frames. But I think I managed it alright. So we have the basis for our lenses now. And I erased some bits to provide shine. Ta-da! Shininess! You'd almost think it was glass, but we're not done yet. I blur the peripheries, and I also decrease the opaquency of my layer. Now we have some lenses. And a little bit more blur. A little bit more blur. So far, this is what we've got. Kinda creepy. So, let's alleviate that problem by finally painting his face. After having taken examples of his skin tone, just so I had it just so, we start to fill in the gaps. I keep in mind to stay inside the lines because it's always such a pain in the butt to have to zoom into like 400% to make sure every single pixel is where it should be. This wasn't too difficult though. Ta-da! We have flesh tone. Now we just need to fill in the mouth and teeth. And then add some more teeth. Because he doesn't have enough teeth. Grayscale! so I can see what I'm doing. And despite having a perfectly good gray in there already, I decided to go with a completely new kind of gray. I do not regret my decision. That is a marvelous gray. I can see that I missed some paintages there. Filling in the teeth. Adding more teeth. Needs a tongue, because the mouth would not be complete without a tongue. And here we are with something close to our finished product. I need to zoom in a little bit so we can put some shine in the hair. It's pretty much the same process of sprinkling it with paint dots and using our smear tool in the direction that the hair is going. Followed by blurring the ever-loving crap out of it. 4 layers of floof. 4 of them. And here's our shiny layer. Because it wouldn't look like healthy, awesome, floofy hair without a shiny layer of shininess. Then after we're done with this, we blur it once again. Ta-da! Oh, but I painted over my lines, and I already merged the layer down, so what am I going to do about that? Well, poopy Teague, what are you going to do? I'm going to merge the layer down again, and I'm going to grab my fuzzy select tool on another layer, the layer with the hairlines. I'm going to adjust my fuzzy select until I select what I need, and then I'll take the eraser and erase what I don't want on the layer where the shine is. I have my line art back! Yay! Thankfully I didn't merge too many layers down, otherwise I would have been boned. But now with that fixed, we can carry on. Adding depth, contouring, getting Kim Kardashian levels of contouring up in this shite. And we blurred it. Look how wonderfully that blends in. Now we just need to do some shading around the nose, the eyeglass frames, and wherever else shade might happen. And essentially repeat the process we did with the highlighting. I actually end up going through 2 layers of shading because I didn't really do it right the first time. Whoops. Here is 2 layers of shading done, and we now have our finished product just about. I continue on to shade the inside of the mouth, and that's about that. Back to normal size so we can see the pretty much finished thing. Merge all of our layers down and then save it as a PNG. And we need to take out our background in our cruddy gray area. But before we do that, I gotta make sure that I've erased everything. Because after all of the layers of blur that I put on using the highlighting and shading, there's bound to be some stray pixels that made it outside of the line art. So once again, I whip out the fuzzy select tool so I'll be able to see exactly where all these stray pixels flew off to. But at the moment, I'm just erasing what I see with my own eyes. And there's our fuzzy select tool right now. Let's zero in on that crap, shall we? Yep, I missed a bit. So I would go back through with the fuzzy select tool in use and erase all the stray pixels that managed to get out when I did all of that blurring. And there you have it, pretty much our finished product. All that's left to do is to merge down what's left of our layers and get rid of our background. So you have basically a transparent background with this iconic little face peering back at you. Anyway, there you have it. There you go. Before and after. Da 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 da. Cartoonifyer.